We actually haven't seen the Fizz ban yet. We are in Champion Select already, so...
Actually, second ban phase already, and we have nearly all the bans drawn out. Actually, they missed one ban. No, they choose to ban Victor here.
Choose to ban Victor.
Which is a strange move.
As I mentioned before, Domas is used to known for his great ability to one-trick the champions. So his champion pool is very narrow, but those champions are extremely dangerous. You have to ban them out. I'm really surprised that Fizz got left out, but I guess Solus wants his revenge, because last time he was laning against Domas Fizz, he got completely stumped when he was playing Syndra. So I guess he wants his revenge.
But it's a counter matchup, though. You have to say this as well, of course.
It is a counter matchup, but you have to respect. He's one-tricking Fizz. You can't trick Syndra. So that happened last time.
It's similar to Echo, by the way, who is also really strong in this matchup.
Insanely good.
Most of the time, this matchup is decided by the jungler. If he goes into the mid lane early, gets in a HP pressure gank or something like this,
Azir was left
chooses
open.
Azir actually here. Very late though, and I kind of have to say that they have the better team comp so far on blue side.
So far, it's most definitely the better team composition that we see.
On open, first rotated here as well. They have perfect team fight here.
Yeah.
So.
And I have to mention that Domas was playing a lot of Azir in solo queue, so it's kind of a stolen pick for them. And as it goes for Solus, he's really playing a lot of Azir himself.
I think he could have chosen something else here, and actually goes with the Kassadin.
Was open. Oh my! I know that Solus is a big fan of Kassadin. I believe that every mid laner is a big fan of Kassadin right now, because it's completely broken. The laning phase is a little bit troublesome, but when it goes to 1v1, just insane how can he assassinate people?
The thing is, like, the transition into mid-game got a lot easier now on this patch in the preseason by itself. The only thing that is worrisome for me is that when they were picking Shyvana, actually, you know, usually it's a jungler that isn't known for like a lot of impact on lanes or ganking or something.
Yeah.
So strictly going for camps, and since there is no rubber banding in the game anymore, there could be some tremendous XP advantage for him, but we have to see how this comes out, you know. So far I see the pressure on top lane and on mid lane, like going for the blue side here, and for me, I would say they won the draft tremendously.
As a go for Diamonds.
Definitely,
yeah. What do you think of the presence of mind on Kassadin?
I think it's absolutely broken, I think. So,
but as it goes for the competitive, I saw Faker and all the other mid laners, they're going for the free stopwatch and the magical footwear, just to get the quicker transition to the mid game. So what do you think, if it's good decision to go for a presence of mind? Because the presence of mind really helps you out when you're level 16. Then it hits you insanely well. But as it goes previously, I don't know. I think that going stopwatch, it helps you a lot in the mid game, and especially in the early game. When you have Shyvana, imagine Shyvana jumping out through the waves with the Dragon Rage.
Yeah.
And then you just click the stopwatch and you have enough time to survive that.
Also have to say, like, there's a change in playstyle as well. One is better if you're simply planning on 4 men or team fights, and one is better if you're simply playing on the side lane. So might see that. There's like a really known strategy with Alistar as well when you pop 6 to just instantly die from bot lane, so they might want to go for that. Or what they could also do is just rotate towards mid and 3-man gank on the Azir lane here. In this game, they should definitely prioritize the mid lane. I think overall the game is either won on the top side here or through mid lane.
If Kassadin doesn't die until level 6, when he gets that transition to the mid game, I think it's crucial for them to make Kassadin save the early game.
Yeah.
Sinjar is way better at 1v1 in the all early game stages. If he wins level 1, level 2, level 3 fights, and that's gonna happen. You cannot fight 1v1 as Shyvana. You want to scale, you want to get all of the camps, and I think that, as you mentioned before, this game is really surrounded about the mid lane.
Yep.
But the problem for the Go Exanimo, they don't have the mobility boots support. As it goes for the Alistar, if he's taking a Futures Market rune, and if he gets the first blood, or just a pretty calm laning phase, he can go back, he can buy mobility boots, and then he can roam throughout the map.
And actually really early, and that's scary, actually.
Nasus, he has no escapes. He has only flash to escape the gank. So if it's going to be Shyvana and Alistar in the top lane, or in the mid lane, it's going to be super scary for the solo laners. So it's up to solo laners, Haim, Frito, and Domas to survive the early laning phase. And if they do that, I think that they definitely stand a chance against Iron Wolves.
But you have to be careful though. Like with Shyvana, the playstyle is usually strictly going for the camps. Get as much resources as possibly. Like even try to invade, take camps away from the enemy. So has to be careful though. I think Zinzao is really like deadly for him early. I think in a 1v1 situation he should win. And also Azir has the pressure in the lane early on, so most likely has the first move as well. So he has to be careful near the river.
But what has to be mentioned is that Shyvana gets extremely low on HP during the first clear.
So it's pretty crap dependent actually.
Yeah. If he gets the vision, then okay, he can clear to get level 4. Because it's crucial for Shyvana to get the level 4, to get a quick back, and then you get like a XP advantage over the Xinjiao, who is prioritizing ganks because he has the gap closer and the CC.
Yeah.
But for Shyvana, she gets extremely low. She gets like to 20% of HP, if not less. I think that we're getting into the game. We just have to change the scene. I hope that it works.
And yeah, like on the top side, though, have to mention that On is still pretty obnoxious to play against in lane, so has to be careful with that. Has to respect him, Nasus here, and I hope that he has some proper wave management in check. You know. Okay, so we got into the game now. And
it's already the semi-final. It got so quickly. The qualifiers were really... What in stacked? I was supposed to see a lot of teams playing in the semi-finals, in the qualifiers, to get to the semi-finals. But none of the Estonian teams showed up. I was expecting for Estonian Vipers to show up, but apparently they had some teams, some problems, some issues in the team.
So they ditched out once again.
Yes, like ditched out once again. Oh, damn Estonians. They have really good individual players, but as it goes for the team, I think that they are not really motivated to play together. But they have pretty good players that are playing abroad, so that's something.
But same goes for Iron Wolves, actually. They're pretty stacked as well. I think their roster, every one of them is high on the ladder, challenger as well.
Yeah. The Iron Wolves roster right now is just looking super scary. All right.
So I have to mention that we have double teleport coming in here for Iron Wolf, so definitely tells you that they want to go for a 1v1 strategy in the game.
Everything should be alright.
And they are not going for any invade strats here. Like usually we see something like this offline, that they try to play aggressive early on level 1, try to get some sums out as well, especially when you have Alistar, and yeah, like even an Azir could do like potential harm to them, but they choose not to do so.
I would expect Chosen to help Warden on the blue buff, because Vayne and Alistar, they are having really troublesome early game, so not helping, helping the jungler is really not that good of a decision to lose the lane pressure right there. As it goes for the mid lane.
Actually, I might have to interrupt you here. We saw on top side, actually, he was faking the start on the top side here.
But he didn't use any mana, so I don't think that was a successful... He did lose some HP, but didn't lose any mana, so he was trying to fake it out, but I don't think that it worked out. Ooh, nice stun. Probably
see some trades already. Might see the level 2 all in here on bot lane to determine who gets the pressure. Though I really think that the level 2 is in favor of Tristana and Taric, but once we get past this, should be easily for in their to their advantage actually.
Yeah, I think that is nearly impossible to get it. Oh, that was a nice engagement with the rocket jump from Tristana, but nothing really happened. Just the explosive E was put on the Vayne, but just the one trade. I think that it has to be expected. He started with the Relic Shield and 3 potions, while Tristana is starting with Relic Shield and refillable potions. So I think that the Vayne has more sustain, a little bit more sustain. He used more gold, but I think it's still pretty
actually
much the same.
Cassadine zoning out Azir early on. That's something rare to see.
That wasn't a good decision. That wasn't a good decision. I have played this matchup several times. Not several times. I think that this matchup is really popular in solo queue. And if you go for these kind of trades, it sometimes feels like as Cassadine you can zone out a ranged mage, but it never pays out, because all you want to do is just survive to level 6.
Oh,
now we're seeing pulverized combination right there in the bot lane, head up, and nothing really happens. The stun lands on Vayne. Vayne might be in trouble.
He goes all in.
Both summoners are up.
Do you see the first blood here?
She has to flash away. The heal is up, and the one out attack is left, but he does survive. And Tristana is still with flash.
Actually, flash in. Goes for Tristana here. Has to flash away as well. So much action on bot lane here already.
So aggressive right there. And his nickname on Tristana is Be Confident. He is actually being confident a lot.
As we see Xin Zhao on the bot side now, and we have an Infernal by the way.
But not having not getting the first blood was really crucial right there for Latvian team, because as I mentioned before, Tristana is playing with refillable potions, so she has a little bit less sustain than Vayne. Vayne has no summoners, Tristana has no summoners, but look at the HP bars. Tristana is below half HP, while Vayne is having no troubles regaining her HP.
And yeah, because of the new rune system, there are no lifesteal runes anymore in the game, so it has to be. They have to be more careful now. Alistair is quite deadly early on, so and with this trade, they just won the lane pressure as well, so went pretty good for them actually.
As it goes for junglers, I'm really surprised that Shyvana had pretty calm clear. Nobody invaded her, no vision was in depth from Mata. He was just farming his own jungle. I did expect Xinjao to play a little bit more aggressive, but now Shyvana is level 4 with full clear on his side, so it's pretty calm and pretty good early game for Warden.
And Zolius just TP'd back into the lane, already showed some trades here. Is still level 4 though, so not really that risky.
He has to be careful, but Warden is there for him to defend, so he is maybe just trying to bait out Xinjao to gank mid lane. He actually wants to recall there in the mid lane.
I think he was just guarding because he wanted to push out, reset the wave, you know. They have to... Oh, actually flashing aggressive here on Azir.
No flash on Azir, he might be in trouble.
They still want to keep going.
Yeah, the slow connects on Azir, he might be in trouble. He has no heal, he has no Shurima Drift.
No mana!
No mana, and the first blood goes to Cassidy. As I mentioned before, it's so important for Cassidy not to get behind, but he gets the first blood. It's gonna be so troublesome for Iron Wolves to play this matchup furthermore.
And that's so big actually. Now at the same time, our Nasus on the top side went low, but yeah, like you mentioned, with this first kill, Kassadin is high likely to snowball, so they have to be careful with this. And also, they are like we're getting sooner and sooner to the level 6 on the bot lane. They might want to pull out a nice dive here. Like that should be the next priority actually, to not play around the Kassadin any longer. Try to hold the lane, try to stay even if like losing the first blood. So have to be careful now.
That was such a silly mistake from Solis. It's not to be expected from a high challenger player, because it was really obvious that Xinjao is going to be in top side. He started from the blue and he has to go for the race. So he even played it like that. When he was shoving the wave, he was asking Warden to come around the mid lane. But then afterwards, he was just recalling with no respect in face of Kassadin, and it turned out to be a really bad decision.
That's true. He actually chose to like backcall in the brush when it was warded, and I think he knew that before. He saw it, though. And we might see a trade on bot lane as they just want to push out and then probably get to the first back as well.
Look at Doma's items right now. He nearly finished his Roll of Ages at minute 6. He has the blasting one, the ability power coming out from him, and the sustain from the refillable potion and the Dark Seal. It's gonna be so hard for Solis to lane this. And he only has the potion. As I mentioned before about the Vayne, if you're buying potions, you're having the better early game sustain, but when it goes to the mid game, you're kind of losing gold. Whenever you buy a potion, you're thinking, what happened if I bought the refillable potion? I could have saved so much gold. And if you're giving away first blood, you're just falling more and more behind.
Yeah, and usually we see the like go-to is the Dark Seal on the first back with the refillable potion.
Yeah.
So that really works out because it boosts your overall HP sustain in lane.
And also you're saving a lot of gold. The pulverized combination was actually not successful. Xavielis is playing a lot of Alistar, but it was not connecting. Now that Tristana is jumping in, he knows that there's no
stun though. Goes for Vayne here, drops really low. Second
Another rocket jump, and the Optimus is going down. Shyvana is there with the level 6. Tristana might be in trouble, but he rocket jumps away. It's a 1-for-1. Can it get a little bit more? But we're not seeing this on the camera. We're seeing a 1-on-1 fight in the top lane. He could be in trouble. This
misplaced actually.
A little misplayed, yeah. Volcanic Rupture did not connect on Nasus, and he did make it out. Nasus still has his ultimate, so he's not really in trouble. Ooh, the E.
He has to be careful though.
Yeah.
Still has his ultimate though, so is in no range of being dove here. So
well, Nasus saw that Shyvana and Xinjao were in bot lane, so he's not afraid to get dove right there. Ooh, actually, Historicus is playing really ham. He doesn't want to go
approaching Infernal right now. I see Xinjao starting it already, and this is pretty important for them to get the Infernal here.
Yeah, the first game I did expect it to go a little bit different, but
there were some mistakes though early on.
The gold is pretty much even now, but as I mentioned before, the 1-3-1 is super scary from the Latvian team. If Go Exanimo gets to that stage where they can accomplish the 1-3-1, I don't think that they can. Iron Wolves can respond with anything. They can force S5, like you can go for the Barons.
They have to force, definitely, and they have to also look for team fights or dives or something like this. There is a potential for them to just swap back towards the top side after this Infernal is gone, and then just dive Nasus, get the turret there, and then alternate rotate to the Rift turret then. That could be a move that they should go for maybe. They should consider it.
Exactly, but before Azir gets any items, I think that Domus is going to be super scary. I didn't see what runes is he going. If he is going for Presence of Mind, the late game is going to be super scary. Even if you're going to force a 5v5, Cassidy is going to be like, okay, I don't really care about the 1v1, I'm really good at team fights.
It's really good though for team fights, really. So here right now, aggressive move from Shyvana though. It's going all in here on Xin Zhao, who drops
so much damage going down from one, and
God.
he takes the 1v1.
And who would have expected? That was so much damage actually. And now we see a successful Pulverize combo on the bot lane as well. And now Cassidy has to be careful as well here. And now Shyvana is on the top side. Nasus is dropping fairly low now. Maybe gets dove the next time
Shyvana
here.
is going
but
top
there's
lane,
no
but you have
CS.
to remember, Cassidy still has his teleport. He just recalled. He is gonna use his teleport at top lane. Shyvana has to be careful. I think that Cassidy wants to use his teleport in the top lane.
Nice flash though.
Nasus used his ultimate, but he is going down. Cassidy, he got cancelled by Azir. That was so well played. That was so well played by the Iron Balls, because Cassidy, he could have recalled and used the teleport top lane and potentially could have taken the double kill, but Soulless, he managed to cancel the recall, and it was so well played on the map itself.
And before I thought it's going to be so hard to pull off because there were no CS, but they managed to do it anyways, and I have to say the Shyvana damage is just obscene, so much actually.
While talking about the 1v1 at the red buff, I think it was really smart by Warden to go in for the kill, because Xinjiao used his red smite on the red buff. So he gained HP back, but he cannot cancel the damage from coming from Shyvana. If you smite Shyvana, the damage is not that big, but I think that Warden just completely knows his boundaries. He has been playing a lot of Shyvana, and he just 3-0. What can I say?
As they go aggressive here. Still have to be careful, they are openly trading aggressively as well in this lane. So, and actually, with this being said, the Xin Zhao now, like a bit behind though, should play around the bot side now.
Iron Balls bot lane should play more safely. They are not having their jungler on their side. Shyvana is taking Rift Herald, so you have to take this into consideration and just play it out safely, not to get doved by the enemy jungler.
Good that you mentioned this actually. It has to do something with the comms and communication overall. Yep. So, and now
you cannot go
Shyvana is approaching the Rift Herald as well right now. Probably going to get it
already taken. Yeah. It's already taken. Shyvana is just taking over control of the game. Soulless is trying to end this game, but I talked to him before the game. He said that his team is being overconfident and he wants to play it carefully, but it seems that he's the only one holding it back. Oh, I think there's going to be another dive. Cassidy has no teleport. Nasus might be in trouble, but look at the knockup. The fourth kill going to Warden. Nasus has absolutely nothing to do. Meanwhile, the cross-map pressure is there in the bot lane. Tarek uses his ultimate.
Flash in.
Vayne might be in trouble. He still has his heal up. Is he gonna be enough? Exhaust finishes down. Tristana is tanking tower. Oh, it's actually the Tarek, and it's 1-0. Nobody dies from Go Exanimo, and it's only Alistar left there in the bot lane to defend the tower. But I think that he can make it out safely because
Azir's making his way towards the bot side.
Yeah, Xinjiao is just way too low to pressure the tower, and it came out to be that it was very successful map trade overall for Iron Balls. They got the first blood tower in the top lane, they got another kill on Shyvana. Shyvana is just insanely huge right now. And look at the runes, he took the magical footwear, so he's saving another 300 gold. He's 4-0, saving the 300 gold. So it's just, he's just obnoxious right now.
Insane actually, already nearly finishing his second item though. Second item after 12 minutes, so he's having a blast in this game. Has the Rift Turret available, where do they want to put it? Do they want to crack the mid lane turret here, open up the map and then rotate to the other side? Or do they just want to go through bot side here?
Even though it looked pretty good for Go Exanimo, they didn't get the tower, that's the main point. And now we're seeing that Demolisher is being used in the mid lane. Mid lane tower is probably going down without even Rift Herald being placed right there. Yes, that's the second tower. And even though the score is 4-3, we're seeing that they have the 3,000 gold advantage.
And that's so big for them. That's so big that they didn't have to use the Rift Turret. So no, they can actually alternate to either through mid again, then get the inner turret, or just go towards the bot side. But of course they have to stack up CS first, and of course want to get ready for the next Drake.
Both top laners have their teleports. I think that is something that they have to take into consideration, because, well, Nasus is not that scary actually. It's only the Go Exanimo that has to take into consideration the teleport that Ornn has, because if Ornn teleports, he provides so much crowd control, it's going to be scary even for the 2-1 Tristana.
And Nasus can stop him. That's important to say as well. So, actually goes aggressive here once again. Jumps away, there's
actually,
nothing
Rocket jumps away and they might be in trouble. Ornn still has his teleport, he's looking for a TP, there is a TP behind them. Tarek is still not using his ultimate. The ultimate is still on cooldown.
Nice condemn!
Now he might be in trouble. The Maokai is, Ornn is there with the ultimate. He still has it. Not gonna use it. Now he is. The Tristana is really low HP. Shyvana is actually. Oh my God, the Kassadin. He was 1 versus 3, and the team fight is
look at the
completely
damage from
going
Shyvana, though.
for Shyvana. It's gonna be triple kill.
And Iron Wolves aced them.
In the minute 13, it looked pretty scary for Iron Wolves, but Kassadin, he went 1 versus 3. You cannot do that. You have no resistances, no armor. The Rift Herald is being placed in the bottom. That's potentially gonna be 2 towers that are there in the bottom.
But yeah, like that was just perfect play by Ornn, completely cutting off Kassadin and the rest of the team, and like putting in so much pressure. And I have to say, in the draft, you cannot leave Ornn open, not at all, because this will happen every time. He has so much impact with his ultimate. It's just overall such a such a great use.
Yeah, and as we mentioned briefly before the team fight happened, if Ornn is gonna teleport with the Nasus, you want to avoid the team fight, because Nasus is not going to provide you anything. You want to scale, you want to 1-3-1, because that's your winning condition. And if you're going for the team fights, of course, Ornn and Shyvana with 7 kills, of course they're gonna win the team fight.
And I think they had the option to just move out, actually, because they have Tarek, they have Tristana. There was no reason for them to go all in, but they just went toe-on-toe with them, and yeah.
They thought they had the numbers, but they didn't think about the Ornn teleport.
Also, like we are speaking of Iron Wolves, everyone of their team has 2-item power spike, or 1-item power spike, better to say. Shyvana is the one with the 2-item power spike already, and it's quite big.
Like, or the Giant's belt after Frozen Meld. He's so tanky and providing so much damage. Just Warden is taking over control of this game. He doesn't really care that his laners are losing, but he's just going everywhere.
Also 2-level XP advantage, which means that the objectives are high likely in their advantage as well, with the smite being superior here.
Exactly, look at the items of Xinjiao. He has basically nothing comparing to Shyvana. Shyvana is super scary right now.
And we have to think about the overall pick consideration here. They picked it fairly early in the draft, so there was still something different open, I think. Now playing aggressive on the top side, probably preparing the next objective here. And also they have complete vision advantage here. Placing deep wards, having vision advantage. Shyvana is threatening on the top side. Maybe looking to dive this. Or maybe just checking.
Well, the game is really set for Iron Wolves right now. They can just go for the top lane tower. They have the Azir, they have the dive potential with Shyvana, and now they're just going all in for the mid lane tower. There is nothing that Xinjiao and Kassadin can do. The Demolisher is being popped in there in the mid lane. That's another tower for Iron Wolves, and it seems that it's getting harder and harder for Go Exanimo to do anything about this game.
And I have to say, or admit, that Nasus is not even existing in the game right now. Not having 1 item, building 2 items at the same time, really falling behind as well. It's not going good for him right now, as they're just moving, playing pretty clean as well. Just going for the structures and objectives here, going all in on the top side. That was not communicated though. Yeah,
Vayne still had the condemn on the cooldown.
They go aggressive.
Go Exanimo is going in. Tarek has his ultimate. The damage is coming in on the way. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Ornn hits his ultimate. Nasus is in trouble again. 0-4 legendary on Warden. Shyvana is just obsolete, trashing on Go Exanimo. Now on the other side of the map, back again. Alistar is in trouble, but on the other hand, Vayne got away, and Domas is actually disrespecting.
But yeah, wasting a lot of time on the top side here for 1 kill, or actually 2. Yeah. No, actually Vayne got away, no?
Vayne got away.
Really wasting that time, and on the other hand, Iron was just making a big impact here on the bot side and on mid. They're going for the structures. And actually look at the damage from Kassadin. He has to be careful.
Oh, Shurima drifting away. He just sands away, and yeah, it was a scary situation as it seemed, but it's not that scary. To be honest, I did not expect Domas to go for cooldown boots. He is going for cooldown boots. Actually, Merc-Freds doesn't really help you against Azir and Shyvana, so maybe going for cooldown gets you a better 1-in-1 situations.
Definitely. And at this point, they should also think more about investing into vision. They still need to have this defensive vision. It's actually really hard for Iron Wolves to face check into them. As Kassadin is going aggressive here on Maokai, has to be careful.
It's Ornn.
Oh, actually, sorry.
Actually, this skin is really similar to Maokai. Yeah. I've made a similar mistake. Oh, the Ornn is using his ultimate. The Forge of God is there. The backup was predicted. Now the combination is there. Xinjiao might get away. He still has no flash. The ultimate is not enough to save him. He is going down. Solus picks up his first kill in the game.
And actually, again, great use of the ultimate from Ornn. Predicting the flash, and actually big mistake from Xin Zhao here, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now
it seems that Go Exanimo are just getting tilted, farming in the middle of the mid lane. You cannot push this far. Like, there's nothing you need to contest for. You can just wait out the waves to come to you and collide next to the tower. You have to give up some experience, but otherwise you're just gonna die and die over and over again.
And they had little to no vision actually around this. So just going for the objective on the top side here, preparing the next turret. And they could actually think about diving here because they are so far ahead and they have Alistar as well.
They have Alistar, they have Shyvana. The tankiness is absolutely enough. And look at the Vayne. She's already with the static shift and BF sword on. Now they're waiting in the bush. They have the pink
this
ward.
is smart, this is smart.
This could be troublesome for Taric. Taric has his red trinket on, but he is suspecting that something could go wrong right here in the bush. Now we're seeing Nasus in trouble. Azir uses his ultimate, but that's a tank fight with Azir. I think that Nasus has no chance of getting away. 3 soldiers are down. Arise says Solus and gets another kill.
And dropped fairly low. And by the way, this is an Azir with Kleptomancy. Something that we saw like multiple times in solo queue before, I think. So quite interesting that he went for this.
Yeah, this is the first time that I'm seeing Solus going Kleptomancy and Azir. He is a big fan of Aeri Mastery, but this time he decides to experiment.
Well,
in the semifinals?
It got nerfed a lot, by the way. Like the Aeri overall, yeah.
It got nerfed, but still the out attacks are hurting a lot in the laning phase, so I think that's not too bad.
That's true. Stay.
Xavieras doesn't really want. Yeah, he just headbutting Taric away. And they're basically taking everything in the jungle. They can
have complete control. And now turning on to Baron here, they have a lot of damage. So this could fall really fast.
Go Exanimo has no idea what is happening at the Baron pit right now. 3 soldiers, Vayne and fed Shyvana. You cannot do anything about it. I think it's basically impossible to steal that away. Baron is taken by Iron Wolves with no contesting ability for Go Exanimo.
They have to pull out the miracle play to come back. So it's really hard for them to do anything about it now. Have the first item on Nasus, but still not being not being a big deal, to be honest, in this game. The only thing that he could do is provide some armor shred with his E and wither them, so they are like losing a bit of attack speed. But yeah, Vayne is not the scariest like champion here on Iron Wolves. It's more like Shyvana and Azir both, and actually also on with the ultimate. So
in this situation that a Go Exanimo is in right now, you always want to get like a pick or something, like to get an unexpected situation, to get one pick, to get you like a little bit more experience next to the tower, a little bit more CS, like to get it safe. But it's impossible for them to do so. They have no crowd control. The only crowd control that they have is free talent strike from Xinjiao with the knock-up. But it takes so much time to provide it. And the stun from Taric is really hard to pull off. Now we're seeing that they are trying to go in on Alistar, but Alistar has his ultimate. He is so tanky. He is forced to flash away though. Taric pops his ultimate. Alistar might be in trouble, but Azir is using his ultimate. He's trying to get away. Gaslin jumps in. Now Shyvana is there, jumping into the fort. Forge of God is used by Ornn. They might be in trouble. Latvians are trying their best to fight off, but Xinjiao is going down. 2 members are already dead. Double kill on Azir. The 3rd member goes down. Vayne is just putting out obnoxious damage, and that's 4th kill for Iron Wolves, and they're taking down this game definitely.
And that might be the game right now. So great play here on the top side. Like waited it out, the Azir ulti, like completely zoning everyone, perfect area, and then turned back into the fight. Really good on ultimate. I expected him to actually pull it downwards, not for the Cassadin, but still managed to pull the winning team fight here.
Gassen is trying to get as much kill pressure as he can, but I think that there's nothing that he can do. Nexus is going down, and that is going to be the first game of semi-finals. Iron Wolves versus Go Exanimo taking the first game.
GG,
yeah, definitely GG. It looked sloppy in the early game, but they managed to pull out the macro game on the map, and it seemed that it was successful.
And as we expected, the team comp was just superior. We said it in the draft already, like the picks overall, I think, big mistake in the draft though. So they have to reconsider, get together, think about the draft a bit more in depth though, and also might possibly want to not give him like either Shyvana or Azir, and definitely not Ornn. Definitely not Ornn. Just get this champion out of the game.
Yeah, please. Bot lane and mid lane, it was pretty okay, but I think that the problem with the champion select was the Nasus only. If you pick Nasus into Ornn, you basically have nothing to respond with. Definitely. Maybe should think about something else, like either Camille or something where they could play aggressive on, so Ornn falls behind. And also, their team comp overall lacked CC. They had no real on-it CC, only Taric stun, though, which is really hard to pull off, especially in a comp like against Azir, Alistar, like even Ornn. It's so hard to walk into them or anything like this, so they needed more CC. And playing a comp that is mainly focused around playing 1v1 in a semi-final,
I have to say, you have to be really confident. You have to scrim this a lot to pull this out, because it's not easy. It provides a lot of like in-depth like communication overall. Everyone has to be on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to be ahead early on, which they were, but they couldn't transition this into the mid game.
They were ahead in mid lane and bot lane, and that had to be enough. But I think that was not enough when your Nasus is not providing anything in the top side.
True. And we see the damage numbers here on just obscene damage. I have to say, get this champion out of the game.
Okay, so thanks for watching this game. We're going to tune into game 2, just probably in several minutes. Thanks for joining in. See you next time. See you next game.
Yeah.